Hello, everyone, and welcome to another EZLynx Live. I'm your host, Ryan Bukema, and once again, we are doing the show from the confines of my home office here, so I hope you guys are liking the surroundings like I do. Welcome to another EZLynx Live. Today's show, we're going to be revisiting a topic that we talked about last time. Last time, we talked a lot about Client Center, and there's some really neat things that came out in the last release for Client Center, such as payment processing, a new and improved UI, a new and improved workflow for your insureds to be able to generate their ID cards. So Client Center is becoming this kind of digital representative for your agency that is extremely valuable. And what we want to talk about on the show today is how can you make that tool valuable? Are there different things that you can do to integrate it into your agency? Now, I can talk all day long until I'm blue in the face about how good Client Center is and how much of a benefit it is to your agency. But I think what will actually be better is if I actually have some agents on with me to talk about how it's directly benefited their agency. So joining us today for EZLynx Live is going to be Jake and Carlo Ferrara from Street Smart up in New Jersey. These guys have done a lot of work and they were some of the early adopters to Client Center. So they've done an amazing job of integrating it into their different workflows. So once again, I'd like to welcome Jake and Carlo to the show. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for having us on this episode of EZLynx Live. This is Carlo joining you from New Jersey with Jake.
Hey, Ryan. Thanks for having us on EZLynx Live. Pardon the background here. This is my office for the indefinite moment. I didn't pick those curtains out if that matters or not.
Hey, I think the curtains add a nice touch, Jake. I think they look pretty good. My wife would like that. She'd like to put curtains in this room, but I'm trying to keep her away as long as possible. But anyways, so talk to us about Client Center, guys. Client Center for you and Street Smart.
So we are from Street Smart Insurance Agency. I am the smart in Street Smart because I use Client Center every day with my customers. Do you even use Client Center, Jake?
Oh, now I know you're not being serious with that. Of course I use it. I think, in my opinion, okay. No, I'll show you. I'll tell you how I'm using it. Client Center is a 24/7 representative of our agency at all times. It gives me back a lot of time to focus on my ability to convert prospects into clients. With that added time, I can buy really cool coffee mugs like this. I'm the boss. So with that,
okay.
with that being said, I'm going to put you on the spot now. What are the best features and benefits of Client Center in your opinion? Give me three. And you can't say that you can't say that you don't have to remember the password to log in, because that obviously is the best one.
That's right. You'd forget the password.
So, I do.
The best three would have to be certificates, change requests, and payments.
Great.
Here's how you can use it.
One of the most common requests here we get in the agency is for certificates. Our CSRs are constantly asked for new certificates, updated certificates for renewal, and we always try to push our clients to the Client Center. And before I show you how to make a certificate, I just want to show you some of the setup that you need to do to make sure it's an easy process for the customer and the agency to get customers onboarded to certificates. So click the Certificates tab, and one thing you'll always need to do is you need to enable them for Client Center. So you need to turn the customer on. So what's great about this is you can customize it. If there's some customers that you want to have access to this and there's some that don't need it or you don't want them to have it, you could just go right here and just turn it on and enable them for it. And let's say, for example, one thing that really was important for us when we decided to use this feature was, let's say, a policy canceled. That was one thing we were always worried about. Now, let's say, this policy here, we go to this master certificate, you'll view the policy, right? Let's say it canceled. Now, will our customers still be issuing certificates on that? And if you go right here and you look at it, you can't turn it on. So it automatically stops the Client Center, self-generation certificates right there. The customer can't do it. So that is a huge feature because you don't want your customer issuing certificates on a policy that canceled. So once you have that set up, another thing you could do is you can just go here and edit the master. Let's say, for example, this customer cannot haul refrigerated goods. It's excluded from their policy. So now anytime that the certificate is made within the agency or within Client Center, that master remark is going to be on there all the time. So you can customize this. You can put certain things on there. You can attach a vehicle schedule. If you want to add a master document, you can add a copy of an endorsement on there. It's totally up to you, and you are under complete control on how you want that to look. So from the customer standpoint, we'll click certificates here. Once this is turned on, when you have Client Center turned on for the customer, they can just go right here and hit add a certificate holder. And it's only the ones that you've enabled them for. So we'll go here, add a certificate holder. And we'll go here, we'll do new test. And 123 Main Street, here we go. Okay. Okay. And here's our master remark here. So that follows the customer. Anytime they make a certificate, it's going to be on every one. And they can't change that. And they have to check off that it meets the requirements. Okay. And we'll hit next. And here's the certificate we just generated. So they have that right there. They have it on their phone or their computer, and they can send that to whoever they need to. And you also see it here in the Documents tab here under this master certificate that we made. And you'll see he made it. Now let's say if a customer needs a more extensive certificate and you need them to, they can request it here under the Certificates tab. So let's say they request a new one. Let's say they need additional insured. They can request it here. And that's how we tell our customers, request anything with additional insured here or make it yourself. And let's say if we made it, now we'll go back here to one that we maybe made here. I think these are deleted. Yep. Okay. So this is one that we made, and you could just share it to them. So you hit share, and they'll get a notification via email or via text. And there we go. And when they go back into the certificates here, so we're not emailing the certificates. They're getting everything on the Client Center. So they'll click Your Certificates, and you'll see the one we just shared to them here. So they can download it themselves so they have it. So that's just a quick overview of how certificates work in Client Center and how you can save your agency a lot of time and your customers can do it themselves 24/7.
So let's say your customer needs to make a change to their policy. Rather than call the agency or even email a CSR, they can do it themselves within Client Center by just clicking Request Change. So just click that here. Then they'll be asked, what type of change are you looking to do? Is it a vehicle, driver, or lien holder change, or anything else that falls outside of that? It will just be a general request. So we're going to add a young driver to the policy. So we'll click this one here. And then you're just going to select Add Driver. And you can censor the new driver information. Already has some of it here. Plus Brown. Relationship, it's going to be a child. Gender is male. Single. And driver's license number. Okay. And date of birth. Use 70123. And it is a young student, and occupation is going to be high school. Please add my son to the policy. So they'll enter the message to the agent. And the last thing that they do is they check off and acknowledge that it's just a request. It's not actually processed on the policy, and that the agent is going to review this request and reach out to them if necessary. So they'll check that here, and they'll hit submit. And once they do that, they will get an email notification that's sent to the email on file, letting you know that the agency has the request and they are working on it. And the other thing that you'll notice too, two big features with this is that when they submit the request, it'll go right into the management system. So it'll assign a task to the agent or CSR that you select, and you can change that in the client center settings. But all the information is basically put into a task for the agent to reach out or confirm the change. And the other thing is, it goes right into the policy. So I'm just going to refresh this here. It automatically populates into the policy as a change request. So you'll see where it came from. It came from the client center, and it's a change request here. And everything, even if you click the memo, it'll generate on what exactly is going to be changed. So all of that seamlessly goes right into the management system. There's no phone call or email, basically coming into the agency to stop doing what they're doing during the day. This customer just did everything themselves, and it goes right into the agency. Where you can customize the features as far as like the task scheduling preferences is in the client center settings. So you'll hit the client center icon here under settings, and you'll be brought to basically the settings to change or manage how you want certain things done, like change requests, certificate requests, or even payments. Who should they be assigned to? How fast should that task be due on? That way you can manage the workload that comes in for those things.
So let's move on to payments. Payments has been a big benefit to our agency from a security standpoint. And what that means is that when a customer calls and they need to make a payment on their policy, a CSR is not actually writing any information into that customer's account, from the workspace. They can actually process it in real time here. So they just click the Client Center link, and they'll be brought right into what the customer would see if they were to log in and make a payment. So you'll just click Payments here, and the customer or the agency will even see the payment history before they go and make a payment. That way, it stops it right in the tracks. If they already made a payment, it needs to be accounted for. But we're just going to make a payment. Click that. They could choose to make a payment on an invoice, a policy, or even just making a one-time payment. So for example, let's say you have the accounting module in EZLynx, and the customer needs to pay an invoice. So if you'll see, I click the Invoices tab here, and it pulls up that invoice that I have. I also want to show you too, using the invoicing in EZLynx, I'll show the AR balance here, show you the overdue invoice. You can customize this within the accounting module, but anytime we post an invoice, we have a little memo that tells the customer to go online, log in, and make the payment. So we push them right back to the Client Center to log in there and make their payment. So I just want to show you that. So let's say I'm not paying that invoice. I'm just going to pay a one-time payment. So we'll go over here and we'll do $10. Reason for payment. Payment on policy. Okay. And before they submit that over, they just have to acknowledge that if your policy is in a pending cancellation status, contact the insurance company to make the payment. If they do pay a policy, it doesn't mean that coverage has been reinstated or in effect. So that's a very good acknowledgement that the customer has to make to protect the agency. So you'll hit continue, and they'll be presented with this payment screen, and you'll notice that it's secured by Clearant. So before you get into all this, you need to make sure that you have this set up in the EZLynx Connect module, and you do have an account with Clearant to accept payments. I can tell you from firsthand experience, very easy to work with Clearant. They set us up very fast. It's very reasonable. The fees, you'll notice I put $10 in here. The payment processing fee, that in our agency we charge back to the customer. However, if you want to customize it, you can actually choose to absorb the fees within the agency. Every agency is different. You can definitely set that up and customize it yourself. You could pay by credit card or check. We find it to be very reasonable, the fees. So for example purposes, I'll put in a basic card here. Okay, and yep, you can put the address in here. And let's say if I did pay that amount, you go back into the activity and you can customize this within your client center settings. You'll see that the notification came through that a payment came in, and it automatically assigned to my accounting CSR to review it, make sure it's processed accordingly on a policy or an invoice. So that's all done right in the system. It's all instantaneous, just to make sure that we are accounting for it and that it's not going unapplied, for that policy or invoice. But that's just a quick overview of the payments that you can do in the Client Center.
Yes, there you go, Jake. A demo from the legend himself. EZLynx has a lot of updates going on in the Client Center. I bet you probably don't even know half of what's going on in there.
I'm surprised you have no confidence in me, Carlo. I bet you don't even see the new modern interface that they've came out with, plus the ability to get your own life insurance quote right from the system of Client Center itself. Better yet, if you want to book an appointment with me sometime, Carlo, the new Calendly feature will allow you to do that. Let me show you how. And Carlo, you got me so excited that I actually had to jump up on my walking treadmill just to get some steps up to show you how the new Client Center modern interface looks, along with the other modules that come with it. So obviously this is not EZLynx, but this is our website. And the reason why I'm showing you the website is because I want to kind of go over and explain just making it available for your clients to access, not only in one place where you see it says log in, which is going to direct you to the Client Center, but we also want to keep in mind that there's a number of different places that the customer will be able to get back to the Client Center. So for argument's sake, if they want to request a certificate, it will bring them pretty much to the Client Center. If they want to click log in, it will bring them to the Client Center. So there are a number of different places within our website that has it going right back to the Client Center. So we understand people are different. Maybe they might not see it right up front where it says log in. So we have it available that if they want to communicate with us, there's a number of different ways to do it, which obviously redirects them back to Client Center, which would be the preferred method of communication. It's secure. So we'll go to the login screen here. And now this is one of the coolest things I've seen, because I can't remember any of my passwords for any of the sites I go on. So I'm going to show you a quick example here. We're going to text message me my own identification code. So send the code, check it here. Code just came through. Now I'm going to input in my code. Now this is all customer experience. This will be as if I am the customer here. Okay. Now we're going to see that, let's assume that the customer has a number of different accounts here. So they will click view account. Now for the sake of this demo, I'm going to be alternating between two different accounts. So I don't want you to get too confused, but each one serves a different purpose. First thing here is let's look at and admire the really crisp modern look of Client Center. This is what your customer is going to see. It's color-coded, it's straightforward, it's not cumbersome, it's easy on the eyes. This is the experience that your customer is going to have, and this is the experience you want them to have. So one of the new features released in Client Center is the ability to use an application, third-party application called Calendly. And here, I personally use this application all the time, even externally from EZLynx. The reason why is because I don't like telephone tag. I'm the worst player at it because each time I call a client or customer up, and maybe you can relate to this, they're not available. Then guess what? As you go to chase the next customer, the first customer you called starts calling you back, and now you're not available for them. And this kind of makes a muddy experience. So instead, by enabling Calendly within Client Center, you both can now set an appointment time, like a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant would, to sit down, meet, and discuss the prospect or insurer's needs. So here you'll see that you could schedule an appointment with myself or one of the other agents in the office. Now, this is my preference. I have account representatives that help maintain my renewals or help service my insureds. They could be CSRs, licensed account professionals, or myself. So if you rather just have the agent individually service the accounts, you can remove these agents here and just have me, for argument's sake, be the only representative that could take appointments here. Or, like, if you're like me, I like to have other representatives service my accounts. I'm a believer of selling the agency and the agency's value instead of just the single agent, because I want to be involved with new business and sales. So with that being said, maybe I am the account manager on here, but Scarlett is responsible for all the renewals in the office. My client and customer can book an appointment with Scarlett on Tuesday at 11 a.m. We can have it where there's only a few fields to get preliminary information, or let's say they need to speak with me. It's a new business account. I have additional questions and fields set up. We'll say Tuesday at 11 a.m. Confirm. I ask for phone numbers, so I know to I let them know in the email I send out that I'm going to be calling them. Okay. Share what you're looking to discuss on our appointment. If this is about an existing policy, an account manager will get this message and contact you. So I set the precedent up front that if a customer is looking for me specifically, that someone that is representing them as far as the renewal goes will reach out to them, but the message here will be relayed to them. Or if this is a prospect, need to speak with you about binding my new policy. Okay. We will get that done, schedule event, and it is not a recognized phone number, so we'll just do maybe that. Okay, so schedule event. At least you know the phone number catcher's working, and there we go. It's confirmed with me that I will be having a conversation with myself at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. So now my client and customer will now receive, or prospect, will receive an email setting with the set time and schedule. And of course, they will get a reminder email 15 minutes before this time and date that our appointment is in 15 minutes. And that way I've seen myself that if a client can't make the call, they often reply to the email and ask for another time, which is great because now I don't have to go and chase them. Most insureds are going to do that. Some don't. However, at least now you know who the tire kickers are and who's serious about doing business with you. Now, if there's one thing I enjoy and like in life is I like easy. Not all things, but most things I enjoy come easy. Is where I don't have to exert a lot of energy and effort to achieve the same goals that are desired, such as getting a quote, in this case for life insurance. So each and every time your customer becomes more and more comfortable with engaging Client Center and doing business with you the way that you both want, here is a constant advertisement on how to get a life insurance quote. So let's say, and obviously you understand that statistically speaking, customers with more policies with your agency tend to retain and stay with you for a longer period of time. So going from 2 to 3 policies or 3 to 4 tremendously increases the chances of that happening. Your retention shoots through the roof. So even with some customers that might have all their personal lines with you without a life insurance policy or all their commercial lines with you without a life insurance policy, each time your customer engages Client Center without the agent or agency's intervention, the customer is seeing this advertisement for life insurance. So a simple click here, and obviously look at that picture, very, very eye-appealing, very call to action. Are you thinking of life insurance? Click here. Obviously lays out some of the terms to kind of get them understanding of what the cost of it is. This is a phenomenal advertisement. So we'll click into it, and then goes right into your questionnaire. How healthy are you? I think I'm pretty healthy. Say five hearts. Do I use nicotine or cannabis? No, I do not. My height is 6'3". I weigh a cool 350 pounds. healthy. My year I was born, I'm gonna say I'm 1950. So I'm a healthy 350 pounder born in 1950. Okay, and there it is. It calculates an idea of what this is going to cost your customer. Um, uh, this is, and there you have it. This is an idea of what it's going to cost your customer to want to get life insurance. Now, I want to dive a little bit deeper into this. This goes a little bit outside Client Center, but of course your customer can choose the product and go ahead and start firming up the rates, in which we will refer to either the agency or to Back Nine. That's who we're currently product and established with right now. So let me show you how that works. So if you go into your EZLynx account and click on the plug here, this is EZLynx Connect, the marketplace. So one of the marketplace they have is quote results. Let me see my integrations here. And you'll see here it's Back Nine Insurance. Now, again, easy is the way to go as far as my preference goes. So what I like about Back Nine is that not only will they give me the opportunity to solicit and sell life insurance, but I want to go a step further. I want to refer this to them. They're, in my opinions, the masters of life insurance. They have complete knowledge of it. They eat, sleep, and breathe life insurance. They wake up and do this. I am more of a property and casualty agent. Now, some agents are different, and I get that. If you want to be the one in control of the referral and seeing it through and issuing out life insurance policy, by all means. I, for one, rather refer to them, and it will take a small commission cut, but they'll service the account for you, quote, bind, and issue. So that means the customer experience is even more enhanced, in my opinion, because now they have a true partner that they're working with, which, by the way, they will co-brand to your agency. So that means all email solicitations and correspondence are done with your logo and branding. And again, I don't want to dive too far into that. That's something I think you should speak with Back Nine about. But that partnership that we have established is phenomenal, in my opinion, because now I can primarily focus on, again, new business that's coming in that's property and casualty based. My existing book of business is being serviced and helped with other professionals in that field of business. My customers happy, my retention's going up. It's an excellent synergy. I highly recommend looking into that. And there you have it, Carlo. Those are all the new key benefits of the new Client Center. But let's say you actually owned your own insurance agency. What would be some of the best practices that you would implement as an agency owner to promote Client Center to your customers? Legend.
Okay. It's okay to ask for help from your little brother. But if I have my own insurance agency, here's how I would promote Client Center to my customers. So making your customers aware of Client Center is super important. And what you really need to do is just establish a good foundation within the agency to make it easier for the customer once they are aware to either log in, and also for your CSRs to quickly and easily tell the customer about Client Center, whether that means they're on the phone or via email. They can quickly tell them how to get into Client Center. But first thing is that we always make sure that the information for the customer is correct. So for example, you go to the details page, you want to make sure that the mobile number and the email is correct for that customer, because when they want to log into the Client Center, you want to make an easy experience. So really important that you validate that, whether it's for the primary contact or if you have a commercial account, making sure that anyone else that needs access to the Client Center, that their information in there is correct. That way it doesn't generate a phone call to the agency because they can't log into the Client Center. So once you have that good foundational understanding that this always needs to be correct, then you can start making your customers aware. What we do for our existing customers is we train them. Every time they call in looking for a certificate or an ID card or any document, we just, the CSR will just tell them over the phone, look, you can get this in the Client Center. Did you know how? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, well, here you have a quick email campaign. It's already done for you. You just click it. It's already pre-typed. I'm going to send it again to remind this customer. It's already done. it basically is pre-typed. You can hit the preview icon to see what it is, but basically the customer can log in and quickly learn about Client Center. So you can just schedule it right here. Everything's done. So that's been a very useful tool, just making customers aware, especially the existing ones, making them aware of Client Center, because they don't know that we have this capability. You just want to let them know we have it. Another way you could do it is in your email signature. So within EZLynx, if you hit the settings icon and you click email signature, you'll see that you can edit your email signature. So for every email that anyone in your agency sends, we make sure that they have this little bottom text here with a link to Client Center, just letting them know that they can get into Client Center, and the customer clicks it. They're taken right to our website. And also on our website, we have some videos just showing them Client Center, how to use it before they log into the Client Center. So that way, especially for the one for the certificates, they can go in there and easily generate it. You can also add this on, like we use Microsoft Office. You can add this here on your Office email signature as well. So those are really useful, especially for existing customers. There are some ways that, using Automation Center, that you can actually go in and you can notify a customer, when it's a new customer. So if you go back to this account, you'll see he's on the Welcome Business campaign. So for any business customer that's new to our agency, we'll actually send them an email campaign, and as a part of our drip campaign, they'll get one here. The second one is about Client Center. So we know that they need certificates, and we give them a whole step-by-step of how to make their own certificates. And, that's pretty much it. They can go in there and they can get it themselves. But taking a step further, for some customers, let's say, for example, we'll go to using the trigger, the fulfillment status, especially for our commercial customers. We have a trigger here. You'll see here the fulfillment status here. And one of the actions is to send them an email. It's a new customer, and you basically, this is the most important time to tell a customer about Client Center, is letting them know up front, look, this is how we do business. This is how it's going to work. And when we put them in the fulfillment status, that means that they want to move forward with their policy. So we send them an email campaign that basically breaks down, look, we know you need a certificate of insurance. Here's how you get one. You're going to be set up for it. And that's pretty much it. If you ever need to change your policy in the future, you can go in here and change your policy, but we do everything from here. So that's been really useful. Here is another trigger, the e-signature completed. So anytime a customer completes an e-signature envelope in the system, they'll get this email from us just letting them know. Now, this could be for anything. This could be for an endorsement, new policy, and here you'll get an email campaign that gets sent by us to the customer, and basically lets them know that, look, if you need to make a payment or certificate, click here. And the other one is the new business welcome, and that's the one I showed you before. So you could set this up in Automation Center. It's very easy to use, and you can create certain experiences. Like for commercial, we have a different experience for whether it's someone that does commercial auto, like a trucker versus a contractor. So we try to curate the experience around that customer and what their needs are. But here you'll see that email campaign that's set up, and there it is. So they get that email on the next day. So we're constantly beating the customer in the head about Client Center, whether they're a new customer or an existing customer. We constantly want to remind them about it and what it is. And number one, before you get into that, is you gotta really have it drilled down with your CSRs. They are on the front lines. They are the most crucial element to making sure that the customers are aware of Client Center.
So what I think is very important here is that we are no longer to be viewed as an agent or an agency, but more so as a resource that if and when they want to experience their policy or get a document or even communicate with someone, they can do it on their own accord securely. So instead of sending an email to us where it's unsecure, or they want to send a very important document, they can go right on the Client Center, upload that document that's very important securely right through the system. And of course, that would prompt us to evaluate, or CSR to evaluate what changes or inquiries are being made. So it's like its own ticket system right within Client Center. I personally think, in my opinion, it's one of the most powerful modules EZLynx has to offer, not only for today, but for the future.
So, wow, big hands, round of applause to Jake and Carlo. I mean, they have done a lot with Client Center, as you guys have seen, in order to integrate it, not just into their daily workflows, but to put it into Automation Center, to have it included in email campaigns, to really stress to their insureds the benefit that Client Center brings, this ability to be able to access their information whenever they want without actually having to call the agency. So I hope you guys have actually seen today some ways that Client Center can maybe benefit your agency, and you've been able to get some good ideas from Jake and Carlo. Once again, thank you guys for joining me today. I do appreciate you guys taking time to sit with us, as well as the people watching today, to show us how this has really benefited y'all. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you, EZLynx, for having us on today. You know, when it comes to Client Center, it's really important that all of us adopt it and use it within our agency. That way, EZLynx can continue improving on it in the future.
Ryan, EZLynx, thank you again for the opportunity to go over Client Center. We truly believe in EZLynx as an entirety, the entire product of EZLynx. I think that if any agent were to go ahead and adopt the usage of Client Center, they'll see a great return on their investment. Please keep in mind, Carlo and I are nothing special. We're just like you, or another agency like you. We went through the same hardships you're going through. Our doors and our phones are always open to anybody who is looking for any information or requests from us. We'll be glad to help any agency if need be. And of course, last but not least, Carlo, don't forget, I'm the boss.
Okay.
To wrap things up, I do want to mention one more thing before we conclude the show today. In our last show, we did talk a little bit, or I hinted at something that was coming out, applicant, co-applicant switch. This is the ability that whenever you're running a quote for an applicant, maybe when you get the results back, you might want to try to flip the co-applicant and the primary applicant, see if you can get a better rate. Well, we had the beta. The beta was very successful, and actually we're going to be rolling it out now to everybody. So coming up here at the beginning of August, you will be able to have access to the applicant co-applicant switch. So we're glad to be able to bring this to you. I know it's something that people have been asking for a really, really, really long time, and we're happy to be able to put this out to everybody. It's very hot in this room, to be honest with you. You guys don't see it, but there are these two huge lights right here that I have shining on me so that I at least kind of look somewhat presentable when trying to do this show online. So it's hot, and plus I'm in Texas, so that's even worse. So from everybody here at EZLynx and EZLynx Live, we appreciate you guys tuning in today. And as we say again here in Texas, we'll see y'all next time. Okay, bye.